In 3 Kilometer von der Autobahn abfahren.
Welcome back. My name is Vanessa from Bushcraft, and today I am again in the company from Lisa.
Hello.
Tomorrow we want to visit together a very special abandoned place. You will hear the full story and see the abandoned place in the video later. But now at the beginning I want to tell you a small part from the story. Armin Meiwes, later they called him the cannibal from Rotenburg, meet another man. His name was Vanessa, and with the will from the second man they cut his best piece away. They ate it together, and then Armin Meiwes let him blood out. So the man died later, and after the death Meiwes slaughtered him, cut his body into small pieces, put it in the freezer and ate it later. This story is still in the head from so many people because it is so unreal. I don't even can think about it, how ill a person must be to do something like that. The cannibal from Rotenburg is still in prison, and we are actually at the way to his house, but it is in the middle of Germany, so it is a very big distance to our home. That means that we sleep this night into the forest that it is close to the house and go into the house tomorrow. That we can went into the story, we hear actually the interview of the cannibal from Rotenburg. He tell his own story, tell everything what happened, why he is a human like that, what happened in his childhood, and it is very interesting to hear all those news, those information, because like this it is easier to understand why he have done something like this. We arrived at the spot in around 30 minutes, and our plan is that we check out the house from the street today. Then we will find a place for the night where we can stay for the night. And because the weather is not so good today, we want to go in a restaurant this evening and do not cooking outdoors. And after the overnighter we want to go into the house in the morning hours tomorrow.
In 50 Metern links abbiegen.
Yeah, this is this house. We are searching for a place for the night, but this is not so easy because we don't know that here are so many hills. I thought the area is more even, and all the forest streets are like mud area. It had rained so much that this was yesterday on stream and not on street. So it was not so easy, but finally we found a place back here close to the car, because the important point today is not to spend a beautiful night in the forest. We only need a place to sleep, and that we can visit the house of the cannibal tomorrow. So we want to go in a restaurant now, and later we came back here and build our camp. Here is our sleeping equipment. Of course, my camera and my backpack. This is the Stuben backpack from Fjällräven. Fjällräven. And sleeping pads for us both, sleeping bags of course, and tarp, also on tent. I don't know how the weather is today when we arrive, so I prefer to sleep in a tarp, but when the weather is too bad we sleep in the tent, so let's see later. Wow, what a bad weather. We expect bad weather, but no rain like this. We changed the plan. You see, it rains so much. The streets are full of water. The firemen are on their way continually. So we make the decision that we sleep this night in a hotel, because we want to stand up tomorrow in the morning really early. We are both tired. We drive once to the half of Germany, so we sleep tonight in a hotel. There was a flash flood over the road to our hotel, so we had to search for another way. It is not easy actually. A small break in the restaurant. I hope we had a very, very delicious dinner, that we have enough energy for the day tomorrow.
Guten. Danke. Dir auch.
Wir kommen hier nie wieder her. Wir kommen ja hier nie wieder her, dann können sie tratschen.
Ja, voll.
We are now back at the way to our hotel. the meal was really great. It tastes really good, and it is so good for the soul when you have something warm in your stomach. And now we drive back. We are both really tired now, and we want to go to bed early. But before, we want to tell you the true story from the cannibal of Rotenburg, that you can understand what really happened there. And then we go to bed because we want to stand up tomorrow morning with the sun. I told you before, while we are driving, that I will tell you the full story of the cannibal of Rotenburg. So I'm sorry, I'm not so good in English, so I had a text here with me, and from time to time I had to look for the right words. I told you in the car that 20 years ago this bad victim happened here at the small town Rotenburg in the middle of Germany. And I want to start now with the beginning from the life of the cannibal Armin Meiwes. So he told his full story in an interview, and he said that his father left the family suddenly when he was 9 years old, and his father was his
most important person.
Yeah. And you don't understand why his father left the family, because he loved him so much, and this was a very, very important day in his life. The boy was very normal in childhood, but he was often very lonely. He always wanted to have a little brother with the brother that he can. That he had always someone to play with it.
And share secrets.
Yeah. And he had the thoughts in his childhood that when he eat another human, that he have the human inside of the body, and he's never lonely in the future. He have always someone with him in his body. In him body. Yeah.
No, his body.
His body, yeah. Armin tell later that he had the first cannibal thoughts in the age of 12. Then later he had a broken apprenticeship, and he commended himself for a soldier for 12 years. In this town close here, it is called Rotenburg, and at this time he lived with his mother in the house where the victim happened later. His mother died in 1999, and in this part of his life everything went bad, because then he is more lonely than before.
He started researches in the internet.
Yeah, he looked for like-minded people in the cannibal forums in the internet and placed some searching, in which he looked for people who were ready to be eaten. So really, really scary. And this is how he met the 34-year-old graduate engineer Bernd Jürgen Brandes in February 2001. Meiwes wanted to eat human meat, and Brandes wanted to be consumed. And together they worked out a plan. So they wrote many times in the internet.
Every day?
Yeah, for many hours, and both sides made preparings and figured out their fantasies. The Meiwes bought a slaughterhouse in his own home, and ensured that the room in which the crime was taken, he made sure that the place were really isolated. He tested the noise insulation with a radio that he turned at full load up. And at March 2001, they both meet each other for the first time at the train station in Kassel. This is a city close to his home. And they want to drive home to the house of Meiwes. When they arrived the home, Jürgen get very
naked,
yeah, and they sleep with each other. And after this act, they will make their fantasies to reality. Armin should bite off the best part of Jürgen, and then they want to eat it together. But it doesn't work so good because he can't beat it away with the teeth. So they make the decision that they want to cut it away with a knife. But
the knife wasn't sharp enough.
Yeah.
So they had to take a new knife, and that was easier.
Yeah, they finished it, they cut it away, and then they want to eat it, but it was not really eatable because it was too hard. So they tried to cook it. At first, Meiwes put it into hot water, and then he put it into the pan. But then it is almost too dry and too hard, and they cannot eat it. So that was really frustrating for both parts because they had other fantasies.
Quite disappointing.
Yeah. It was a really large wound, and the plan was that the person should bleed out completely afterwards, and then he wanted to die with a knife cut into the neck. So after they try to eat it, they want to wait till Jürgen Brandes isn't really there into this world. I don't know the right English word for ohnmächtig. Not? So this is a situation where you are really here. He lost so much blood that he is often in another world where everything...
Consciousness.
Yeah. And after he loses so much blood, he was really freezing. So he wanted to take a bath. They go into the bathroom and they put on the hot water. And this was a really fantastic situation for Brandes, because he was sitting there in the bath tube and the blood is flooding out, and he's sitting there full in a mixture of water and blood, and everything was red, and he was really happy to see the blood is coming out. This was a really weird situation. And Meiwes watch every 50 minutes after him, and then he goes away. After I'm not sure how long the time is. So after a short time, he wants to go out of the bath tube.
Half an hour?
Yeah, something like that. He wanted to go out of the bath tube, but he fell down and everything was black around him. And this was like Meiwes found him. He put him over his shoulders and go upstairs with him, because there was the slaughterhouse. This way the person Brandes wake up again, and he is going at his own upstairs, and he's laying down at the slaughter bank, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wait a moment.
I think he wanted to hear music when he
Yeah.
was laying there.
Really, yeah.
And Meiwes left him alone for half an hour about, and came back and he was unconscious, and he wasn't sure if he was dead or not, but he thought he was, maybe. But anyway, he took the knife and put it to
The neck.
through his throat,
Yeah,
here in and out there.
yeah. And this was finally the point of death, but maybe he was dead before. It was such a gigantic blood loss, so nobody knows exactly when he died. They almost film the whole situation because they want to see it later. Brandes wants to see the situation again when he cut away his best part, and Meiwes wants to watch the full situation later often. And also they want to make sure that nobody called this a victim, because both agreed that they finally make their plan to reality, and they both really wanted. So that was not
a crime.
not
In
really
their opinion.
murder. This was only a fantasy in their brains. After he made the finally cut to the throat, he cut out the organs and cut the full body into small pieces. So he make away the skin and
Let him bleed out.
yeah, but there was not so much blood inside. He cut away his head and put it at a point where he can see how Meiwes slaughtered the body, how Meiwes cut the body into pieces. So really, really creepy.
But it was respectful for him, so he can watch what he was doing with his body.
Yeah. And all the pieces came then to the freezer because Meiwes wanted to eat it. He told in the interview that the first time where he tried the human meat, it was a really special moment. He cooked potatoes and fried the meat, and it should be a really, really special dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought that when he eat the human meat, he had this person inside of him, and he's never alone anymore. This person was a really, really lonely person.
Sad story though.
Yeah, so maybe the story never come out, never come to the daylight, because both are taking preparation that nobody know about this situation. Brandes took his holiday and told everyone that he had to go to England to do a surgery there, and he buy the ticket for the train with cash, so nobody can see something at the credit card. Maybe it was never come out, but Meiwes had an internet searching after this act where he is searching for a person again who wants to be slaughtered. And this student from Innsbruck, a medicine student, and he told what he see in the internet to the police. And afterwards he had the police at home, they had a house search. They defendant firmly believed that he could avoid a murder sentence because he killed the victim on request and also filmed the crime. So he never thought that he will come to prison because of this. After the beginning of the trial, Meiwes made a full confession. His defense attorney stated that Meiwes was driven by his compulsive desire of human flesh. He was sentenced to life imprisonment for murder and disturbing the peace of the dead. And he probably showed no sense of guilty because he said it was they're both free will, and he thought that this is not a crime. But he know that what he's done was wrong and he will never do it again because it was a mistake. So when you know the background of this person, you will find out this was a really, really ill person. He was mentally ill and very, very lonely. It was not just a murder. It was, yeah, I don't find the right words.
I wouldn't say he was innocent, but he wasn't guilty too, in my opinion, because it was, as you said, the will of both of them.
Yeah.
So nobody gets hurt against its will.
Yeah, that's right. And now he's maybe his full life in prison and never come out. But he has a girlfriend now, and he had always the dream that he someday come out of the prison and have a normal life under a new name. So what do you think about this story? Can you understand what he's done, or do you say no, that is complete wrong? And what do you think about the time that he had to spend in prison? Is it fair or not? Should he be longer in prison or not? What do you think? If you want, you can tell it to us here down in the comments. So we try to sleep now because tomorrow we go into the house of the cannibal, and we are very curious what we will find there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and of course you can accompany me. You can accompany us. It is very late and we are very tired. So we see us tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Good morning. It is 5 o'clock in the morning. We stand up really early, take a shower, make us ready because we want to go in the house so early as possible. It is still raining. I had the hope that the rain is over during the night, but no, it is still raining. Do you sleep well?
Yes, it is. You?
Yeah, very well, but too short. And now it is time to leave the hotel. We drive now to the house from the cannibal. Let's see what we will expect there.